Welcome to our show, Near-Death Experiences, Exploring Heavens and the Afterlife, Part 12 of a multi-part series. For centuries, humans have had a mystical curiosity about the afterlife. We have many questions and always wonder what is there for us after we leave this physical body and journey beyond death. Today, we have the incredible privilege of hearing firsthand from people who have had near-death experiences or NDEs. These individuals have visited the other side and are here to share their life-changing experiences with us. In this series, we will explore their NDEs and hear about their personal experience of meeting God and traveling to the afterlife. On today's show, we'll examine near-death experiences that reveal how our past lives and karma influence our current human existence. Our first NDE story features Gadol Crump, who grew up on an 82-acre property alongside many animal people in Wisconsin, United States. On a frigid night in December, when she was 10 years old, Gadol went outside alone to guide the animal people into their barn. As Gadol made her way around the property, she began to feel the effects of hypothermia, but continued to work to ensure the safety of the animal citizens. As she was throwing hay bales down for the cow people to eat and making beds out of straw, her dad appeared. Seeing that Gadol wasn't feeling well, he told her to go into the house. Once she settled into her bed, Gadol's soul departed from her body and she experienced a powerful NDE.
It just felt like I rose up out of my body. It just felt like I sat up and everything was super vivid colors.
Suddenly, 3 gigantic beings appeared in front of Gadol.
The form they took was these humongous, I want to say like skyscraper size beings, and they had a blue or light blue kind of whitish color to them. And they don't have faces, they don't really have clothes, but they kind of look like they might have the appearance of wings behind them.
As the beings gazed at Gadol, she described the peaceful, benevolent nature of their presence.
I compare it to how I look at my kid when they're super innocent. They don't know much about anything. But there's so much love and peace and patience.
One of the beings came forward and asked 10-year-old Gadol what she had learned from her life.
I learned selflessness. How to be selfless. I was selfless with the animals. I didn't want to be outside more, but I was like, I gotta take care of these guys because nobody else is taking care of them.
She was then taken through some traumatic memories and shown that karma is real.
When you go through your memories, you definitely 100% feel what you made somebody else feel, and you understand that there is karma attached to every choice that you make.
The beings then showed Gadol a past life connection with her mother.
I had learned that, this is weird, but in another life, my mom was my husband and I was her wife. It's interesting how we keep interacting with these souls in each life.
After speaking longer with the beings, Gadol knew she wanted to return to her human life. Because of this decision, she was told that she could choose things she wanted to happen in her future, but they would impact other future events through karma. Then, a river appeared before her, representing her life and the human perception of time. She was then given stones to place in the river, which signified things she wanted to happen in her life.
They were like, you can make decisions and your decisions will be like these little stones. And I guess they were trying to explain karma to me, the child version of me. I just got to throw like little stones in, and I was like, I want this to happen. I want this to happen. I know that we talked about things that I wanted to happen. I tossed one in, and this being picks up this giant rock, because I mean, they're big, and tosses in this boulder into the river, and it goes splash. And they're like, because you made that decision or you made that choice, now this is happening. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't want like all that to happen. And they're like, well, that's what happens. There is an effect, right? You know, there's consequences for your actions and your intentions. If karma happened almost immediately, we would notice it and we would realize how serious it is.
Thank you, Gadol Crump, for sharing your remarkable insights, which help us to better understand the principle of cause and effect and to be mindful of our actions. Our next NDE features Anita Moorjani. In 2006, while suffering from lymphatic cancer, her body went into a coma. During this time, her soul was freed from her body and traveled on an incredible journey to the afterlife. As Anita's family gathered around her body in the hospital, doctors told them that these were likely to be the last hours of her life. While this was occurring, her soul was watching it all unfold.
I was aware of everything that was happening around me, but I was also aware that to them, I was not there. Nobody was home. I was gone. It was when I was in the hospital that I started to realize, oh, I'm not just in my body, I'm more than my body. And it felt like I was expanding outside of my body.
She then continued to expand out of this physical dimension and began to see non-physical people around her, some of whom were family members and friends who had died earlier in her life.
Some of them I recognized as being people I knew in this life. One of them was my best friend who had passed from cancer. She'd passed 2 years prior, and she was there to greet me. Another one was my dad who had passed 10 years prior.
When our soul returns home, we leave behind our sense of identity, belief systems, emotional baggage, and other perceptions of who we think we are.
When we cross over, not only do we leave behind our physical bodies, but we also leave behind our gender, our race, our culture, our religion, our beliefs. Like all of this is a here thing, not a there thing. The only thing that crosses over is our pure essence. And our pure essence is, I would call it pure love, or pure God, or pure source energy, or pure consciousness.
In this divine space, Ms. Moorjani saw how family members of her present life played a significant role in her past lives and potentially in her future.
I could see my entire journey of my soul, of every lifetime it had lived, and how this life contributes to the entire journey of the soul. When I would focus on my husband from this life, Danny, I would see other lives that I've had with him. I would see the potential future I have. I was immediately aware of a scene in my future of this life, which hadn't panned out yet, of Danny and I fulfilling a purpose together. And I understood that we still had work to do together here, and I hadn't fulfilled it yet. If I crossed over, he wouldn't be able to fulfill his side of the purpose. As soon as I put my awareness on my brother, I felt, oh, I can't die just yet. And I immediately saw a lifetime of him and me together where I was much older than him, and I was very protective of him. And it's true that even in this lifetime, even though he's older, I feel protective of him.
She also learned about the connection between destiny and free will and how, oftentimes, sickness or unfortunate circumstances, like she faced with cancer, are an effort of the soul to bring you back to your life's purpose.
I had been repressing who I am because of cultural conditioning, social conditioning. So this was my body's way of saying, hey, this is not who you are. The body is kind of fighting back. Your soul is fighting back. So I was going against the intention of my soul. So the intention is what I call the destiny, and we can choose to follow that intention or not. And that is our free will.
Through this NDE, Ms. Moorjani realized her divine nature and how each and every one of us is an expression of God.
Each one of us is a facet of God or love or pure consciousness expressing itself through this body. And when we do things that are not good, it's because we've lost our way. We've lost sight of that. We've lost sight of who we truly are.
We're grateful to you, Anita Moorjani, for reminding us that God's eternal love shines within all His creation. For more information on Anita Moorjani, please visit anitamoorjani.com.
It's always wrong to breed and kill these animals for our own ends. Chris Delforce, vegan.